Hey everybody, Glad Dad here. I'm here with my buddy Kearry again. You guys have seen him before. He's just good at playing these random shenanigan fucking decks. So what'd you play today?
We played Mathmeth.
You played Mathmeth. See, I like Mathmeth. It's one of my favorites too.
It's chibi robots, honorary robots.
Honorary robots. They remind me so much of like Gundam or like Super Robot Wars.
Nah, definitely chibi robots. They got the giant heads. It's like you turned on big head mode.
Big head mode. All right. What'd you do? How well did you do today?
Today I went 3-1. Last Sunday I went undefeated.
Yeah, that's right. Last Sunday he did go undefeated. I just didn't get around. Some things came up and I couldn't get his deck profile.
I've changed the list like 3 times since Sunday.
Okay.
But I feel like this is probably the best one so far.
All right, well, go ahead and show us here. Let's get into this.
Right. So, move these out of here. Obviously, we start with the best card in the deck.
That card is cracked because it took less than a week for that card to make this deck top at all sorts of regionals.
Yeah, I don't even think the set was fully out yet.
I don't think it was either before it just started winning.
Yeah, because I was able to start topping in the Chalice line.
Yep.
And that was, I think, the same week as pre-release. But yeah, card's cracked. Sends a Mathmech for cost, summons itself, searches your spells and traps. When you summon another Mathmech, card's busted. 3 diameter, probably. Honestly,
circular made him so good.
Yeah, honestly, second best Mathmech. Used to be old best Mathmech.
Yep.
Wolfbark on summon brings back a dude engraved. Also, if he's used for Exceed, it gives the monster an Omni negate for the turn.
Or Synchro.
Or Synchro.
If he's used for any kind of material for a Mathmech monster, it gives it a negate.
Today, this is kind of the new ratio I saw someone do while looking through some Facebook groups. But 2 addition and 2 subtraction. Honestly, I didn't mind it.
What was your ratio before?
It was 3-3 just for the names, but I kind of like the 2-2 ratio because sometimes you open multiple of these in your hands, and like they're cool going second. But opening multiple subtraction sucks, or opening multiple addition. And then 2 Sigma. I've been on the 2 Sigma train for a while. I think it's fine at 2. 3, I think is a little too much.
I don't think you needed a 3, considering you reuse it as a material, so it goes back to grave, so it doesn't banish itself.
Yeah. Then 3 Parallel Exceed. I actually just put this back in today. I was playing without the deck functions fine without Parallel Exceed, but
you feel like you need it?
Parallel Exceed today definitely helped out a lot of games where I didn't open any normal way to get to circular. I had to help a couple games where my starting hand was literally normal summon subtraction, make Link Disciple, summon Parallel Exceed, overlay into Laplacian or Alambertium.
Says you had to search the circular.
Yeah.
So basically, the best thing for the deck is just get circular.
Pretty much. Circular makes deck go.
Circular go burger.
Yeah. Then hand traps, 3 Ash. I don't think Ash is very good right now.
I think it's Ash.
Yeah, it's
good against rogues. It's just a generic interaction.
It's like that card you gotta play.
Well, it's because you gotta be careful too, because everybody's like main decking talents right now.
Yeah.
Because of all the hand traps.
Yeah. 3DD Crow.
Best hand trap in the format.
Yeah, pretty. It didn't really come up today, but it's a pretty damn good card.
I mean, when you play against Terelement, Sprite, it's just. I think it's good.
Yeah. Real best hand trap, Gamma. This card's cracked. This used to be Ogre before, and Ogre was okay. This is better.
Are you sure? I mean, you Ogre the Gigantic, it fucking hurts.
Yeah, I mean, you also just Gamma the Gigantic, it also hurts.
That's fair. That's a good point. Valid point.
1 driver to go with it. The random one of hand traps, 1 Nib, 1 Veiler, 1 Skullmeister. Individually, they haven't come up, but they're here for when we get into the spells, because they're small world bridges. This card, though,
as I say, tell me this card, because you told me before the video. I want you to explain to them why just a random 1 Skullmeister.
So Skullmeister, as a small world target, is a level 4 that you can banish any of your Mathmechs to get the circular. But more importantly, Skullmeister will come up in your tier limit matchup because you don't want to make Laplacian because it'll trigger their effect because he sends to grave. So you'll make Alan Berchion with 3 material, and you'll search Skullmeister because he searches a powerful monster.
It's so random, but it works.
Yeah, it's very good. Then 3 Small World, obviously.
You can still play the deck without it.
Yeah, you can play without it.
You don't have to have, like, because my version, I don't play Small World.
Yeah, you just play Desires instead, but
Exactly.
I just want any way to get the circular.
Yep.
3 Net Mining, speaking of, just want to get a circular.
Yep.
The 1 Equation, pretty standard. Monster Reborn, searchable, pretty cracked.
Yep.
3 Droplets, because Dark Ruler is fine in this deck, but this deck can just kill.
It can just OTK, and you want to kill.
And you just want to kill.
Yeah, you can't kill through Dark Ruler.
Yeah. 1 Called By, because it's Saki.
Card just needs to get banned to get it over with.
Yeah. 2 Super Factorial, because sometimes the second Super Factorial comes up. Also, it never hurts to just open it.
That is true, because then you can just search something else.
Yeah. And speaking of the other search, Induction. This card is your Optimistic Mind.
It's your Optimistic Mind if you guys were watching the European Regional or Nationals, yeah.
Also, this card's just individually pretty good.
It is a pretty good card.
That's it for the main. It is a 42 main.
42 main?
Yeah,
Hey, as long as it's under 44, in my opinion, it's fine. Like, I love playing up to 44 cards.
Yeah.
Especially if your deck has multiple ways of searching and thinning itself out, yes.
Yeah, I just don't want to cut anything.
Have you thought about playing Forge?
I have. That'd be a 43rd card, and I don't want to mess with consistency.
Gotcha.
So, extra 2 Alan Berchion, cards cracked, like Monster Reborn, search any spell trap level 4, any Mathmeth card, card's busted.
You can even search for Geki.
Yes, it can.
It can search Droplet or Dark Roller no more.
So search anti-spell.
It can search Anti-Spell.
Yeah. The 1 Laplacian, this card's cracked. I even have games
one's
where,
correct?
Yeah.
You don't think a second one would ever be worth it?
Sometimes the second one almost comes up, but in those same games, I also just kill my opponent. So.
That's true. That's true.
He's also very good. He's like Trish on legs. Usually summon him on your opponent's turn with an Omni Negate, but there's a few times I hard make this on my turn just to clear out boards.
It forces negates too.
Yeah, it forces negates. It forces back row. It's such a good card. Going into all of our links, Link Disciple, you gotta play it, it's generic. Sometimes the draw one comes up, but you almost never really use that effect because of Alan Berchion's effect of tribute. Because that will tribute this devotee who doesn't matter how he is tributed, just as long as he's tributed. Summon you 2 tokens. The Wit Kid, this card is a Towers.
That card is insane. That card is...
It protects your IP from being ogred.
It protects anything, really. Any Cyberus that it points to.
Yeah, if you're worried about your stuff getting popped, you just start summoning it under his link arrows and proceed to combo.
I know, I like Wicked and Agnister.
Yeah. 1 IP because you need it for your end board. Also, if your opponent contact sees you, this card's super generic.
You just make it. Yeah, you just make IP.
You just make it. You actually will end up making a rival because your opponent contact sees you. Like, get wrecked. 1 Lingeribo. This card is amazing. I actually like making this card going, like, playing into boards first because it just protects you from random traps.
Imperm. Stops the Imperm on the version.
Yeah, it stops the Tearlaman traps, and those are a pain to get through.
They are, because they give them so much advantage.
Yeah, and he banishes the trap, so it's not like they even get these sends. 1 Heat Soul because he says draw.
That card is insane.
Yeah.
That's like the best Cyberus monster ever printed.
Yeah. He's my usual go-to IP target. Yeah, I mean, he just says draw cards. Today I played Unicorn. It came up, I mean, it was going to come up several times, but most of my opponents scooped before it made an appearance. But it only came up once today, and in that one situation, I wished it was Apo. But it's still a very good card. I still like that one of situation was super niche.
That's how they always are with the one-up situations. It's always
it's,
niche.
It's just super niche. One splash mage because you're playing Cyber Stack, and this
It makes access code super easy.
Access code super easy. It also is your way to make Arrival. One update jammer because easy OTKs. Transcode because you need it for the Arrival play
and to make easy OTKs.
Easy OTKs.
Just generic Cyber extra deck, pretty much.
Yeah. One access code because easy OTKs. One Arrival because this card just sometimes just auto wins matchups.
Element can't out that.
Nope.
They cannot get anything.
Unless they play something in the set, unless they play like Underworld Goddess.
Yep, they cannot out at game 1.
Yeah.
That's why I thought about playing Adagnister too. So
yeah.
It's like just because they can't deal with it.
Yep. That's it for
is there any like bad? What's your worst matchup? Would you say?
Element pre-side can be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Generally, if they're going first.
How about Sprite?
If they're going second. Sprite, kind of.
It's just the meta.
Just depends on. It depends. You go a lot of situations in this deck where you put your opponent on. They have to have the out.
And if they don't have the out, then they can't deal with the card. Yeah.
And that's just kind of how this deck works. Is your deck is you gotta have the. You just put your opponent a lot of the times on. You gotta have it. If they don't have it, you're gonna walk away with it.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I'm about to start playing Mathmeth too, so
yeah,
we'll wreck locals together.
Yes.
And then if we fight, we have to crash Final Signals.
Clashing swords.
Clashing swords.
For side, 3D barrier.
Pretty standard for this format and last format.
Yeah, it's very good against Exo Sister.
It's good against Exo Sister, Sprite, Tier Element. Sword Soak is
super good against Tier Element because they can also do a lot of plays on your turn, but
that's why you just save it for your turn, so then they can't play on your turn.
Yeah. 3 Dark Ruler.
Standard.
Yeah, it's good.
A lot of people are maining it right now, but you could side it.
Yeah.
I side it.
Played these today. This is to make your
opponent scoop.
Yeah, generally just to make your opponent scoop. It's also it's very good against Tier Element.
It's just a 1-turn D-shifter.
Yeah. And that's important, especially against Tier Element. 3 Twin for back row decks. Back row matchups. And the spice of the deck. Shout out to Preston. Because this is a level 4 monster. People are still playing.
So you just do that instead of Skullmeister?
Yeah.
Because Sword Soul is still around, yes.
Sword Soul's still around. People are still doing Brave Token shenanigans.
I'm assuming, is Sword Soul a rough matchup for you?
Not really. Maybe playing into the board.
Because they can just banish the summon of the monster and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, your deck is actually really good through playing into board. That's what that deck was meant to do originally.
It's meant to be an OTK deck, yeah.
This is fundamentally just solid foundation.
It's almost like your Alan Burschen tech, or like the ability to search the hand trap is a lot like the whole, what was it, the Shooting Riser dump. Yeah. Where they would dump the token collector and summon it back in the matchup against Sword Souls.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what this card's fundamental idea is. You just search it with Alan Burschen, and the matchups you're playing against a token-heavy deck. Yeah. Or even just in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because
then they can't get the draw package and stuff going on.
That's also assuming that they don't try to OTK you. It's
dun dun dun.
Yeah.
All right. Any shout-outs?
Well, obvious shout out to Preston, as I just did. Shout out to Kane, because we can't shout out Preston without shouting out Kane.
You have to shout at the other brother.
Shout out to Glad Dad for also playing Mathmeth.